So the car's all packed behind me, the beautiful Model Y Performance, as you can see, and we're off on another road trip, which is around 250 miles in total. But this time, I'm going to be camping out overnight in this beautiful car. So I'm all prepared, I've got everything I need, and I'll be testing out the Tesla mattress that I did a review on. So if you want to check out that review, please go back a couple of videos behind this one and you will see that review. Now, the temperatures of tonight are supposed to be below 0 degrees. So that's going to be interesting to see how the car copes and how I cope in that temperature. And at the same time, with it being on camp mode, how much does it actually drain when you're on camp mode when the temperatures are below 0 degrees? So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to stop off at a place called Norwich. There's a GridServe there. Now, a GridServe, for those of you who aren't from the UK, that is basically a service station for electric vehicles, and they're of a really high standard, and I'll show you around there when I get up there. And I'm hoping that's the spot I'm going to be camping out tonight. So, without further ado, let's get in the car, let's get rolling, and I'll keep you updated as the journey goes on. So I'm starting off with 86% state charge. As you can see, the car's done 9,925 miles to date on 2,843 kilowatts per hour, and I'm on an average of 286 watts per mile. So the key ones are the mileage and the kilowatts. So we'll see how that compares when I get back. We'll subtract the difference and we'll see how effective this car's been. However, do remember I will be using camp mode tonight in the car, so it'll be interesting to see how much of that charge does camp mode use overnight. And it's expected to be a bit chilly tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Well, I haven't gone very far and I'm stuck in a huge traffic delay, and it looks as though potentially it could be an accident just up ahead. As you can see, we've got a big red line all the way down the M11. So it looks as though I'm here for a while. There's lots of police cars gone past, so I'm assuming there's been some form of traffic accident. So yeah, not a good start. So as you can see, I am still stuck in this traffic jam. So this is 20 minutes after I give you the last update. So I'm at 80% state of charge. Temperature is a decent 10 degrees. It's the warmest it's been in a long time. But as you can see from the red line, I've still got a fair way to go. So God knows how long I'm going to be stuck in this. So I might have to do a stop off and get the bed ready in the back of this car, because the way this is going, I'm not going to get there until it's jet black at night, and I'm not too sure of the lighting around the area. So yeah, I'll bring you back when I've made the decision if I'm going to stop or not. The chances are I will stop, and I need to stop before the daylight disappears. So I'll bring you back then. Right, at last we're through that traffic jam. All that was a car broken down in one of the lanes, and it caused that huge delay. So at least we're on the march. I can't see many reds on there, so we're in a good spot. However, I will be stopping off to make the bed before it gets dark, so I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do it. Speak to you soon. Right, so I've took the decision just to pull over and get the mattress out, get the mattress set up in the back. Then all I've got to do is put the bedding on when I get there. So I don't know if you can make out, but just in front of me there's a Mackie D's. So what I'll do, I'll go there, grab a bite to eat, come back and we'll get the bed set up. So far I've done 59 miles. It's took me an hour and 47 minutes to do that. And that's because I was stuck in that horrendous traffic. And I've done 265 watts per mile. Temperature is currently at 8 degrees and I'm sitting at 64% state of charge. So let's get the mattress out and about and we'll get it all set up. In fact, I'll set the mattress up first and then I'll grab some Mackie D's and then we'll get on the road again. Right, I'll bring you back when I'm setting the mattress up. Right, so here we go. We'll get this mattress out the bag. I'll show you this live so you can see how easy it is to do. The hardest bit's getting it out of the bag, believe it or not. So we've got our compressor. Is the valve on there? Yep, valve's on there, happy days. Right, so we'll take the elasticated straps off. And then we drop the seats. Just move the compressor out of the way. And then we roll this out. Make sure that the valve is at the bottom. So I think that's there. So switch it around. So all you do, you put the mat the length, unfold it. Don't worry about any creases because that's going to be out in a minute. We'll plug this into the 12-volt system in the back of the car. And this little valve here, I want to take this off and put it onto here. Because this is the one that blows the air in. The other one sucks the air out. Undo the little cap. Now there's two valves here. One is for inflate and one is for deflate. That's on deflate. If I flick it round, you can hear some air coming out. And then screw this in. Just try and position it as best you can. And we'll blow it up. Now as you can see, that's going up really quickly. And that's it, folks. That's it all done and dusted, ready for action. So I just took this compressor out of the way for now, and that is it. The mattress is ready for action. I'll just take the camera off the stand, just show you inside. Excuse the fingers. How is that, folks, yeah? So what we'll do, we'll leave that like that. I'll travel to the final destination and then I'll just get some linen that I grabbed out the airing cupboard quickly and we'll use that for a bed sheet. Right, let's get to Mackie D's and get some food. It's starting to feel cold now. I can feel the temperature drop, so it might be a little bit of a chilly night tonight, so we'll see how good that Model Y is when it gets a bit colder tonight. Right guys, so as I say, I'm just literally approaching Mackie D's now. Just going to get a nice coffee, maybe a bite to eat, and I'll bring you back when I get back to the car. Right, back at the car, I decided to get into McDonald's in the end because it was absolutely packed to the rafters. It was full of kids, and I mean full. And the queue just to get to the till was immense. So I want to drive further down the road. There's a couple more McDonald's en route, or KFCs, or whatever they'll be, and I'll pop in there and grab something. So let's get on the road, and I'll bring you back at the next stop. And see, I've just pulled up outside of McDonald's. It's got really dark all of a sudden, so let's grab a bite to eat, and then we'll crack on with the rest of the journey to GridServe, and we'll get the car set up ready for the night. So here I am at GridServe, so I finally got here. This is purely a service station for electric vehicles. And there's mine. So if I just give you a quick look around, I don't know if anybody has been to one of these before. I dare say if you're the owner of an electric vehicle, you will have come across one of these in your time at some point. But what I really like about these places, they've got everything on tap for you. So that's why I want to try and stay here tonight if I can. So I'm going to have a look around to see if there's any signs which restrict you from staying for periods of time. And if there isn't any, then this is the perfect place to stop for me, because I can go in. If you see up here, they've got a lounge up there, coffee, washing facilities. Everything is here on tap. So this would be an ideal place for me to stop over, and it'll be safe to do so as well. So at the minute, I can't see any signs. Now, the only downside to this, there's not many Tesla chargers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. They do have plenty of other chargers here, so chargers aren't short supply at places like this. So let's have a little mosey upstairs, and I'll see if there's any signage. So here we are upstairs in the grid serve, and as you can see, it is a beautiful place to come and relax. There was an MG there, obviously advertising electric vehicles, and a nice little coffee area. Lots of stuff to top up with if you need it. And obviously there's a coffee area down here as well where we can go and grab a Costa. So I think I'll get the bed set up, and then we can just come back, grab a coffee, and then chill out and relax for the night. Bring you back soon. Right folks, I'm all set. I've got the bed made. I've checked around this area for signage and I can't see any. So I'm hoping I can stay here, but saying that, there's a security guard there. I'm just topping up the battery because the temperature is starting to drop. As you can see, it is 3 degrees C. So I'm going to have this in camp mode all night tonight. So I'm not sure how much camp mode that's going to use. I know it cuts off after 20%, but let's see what happens. As I said, it's the first time I've ever used camp mode, so it's going to be interesting. So I'm sitting here now. We're on 9 minutes remaining to get me to 80%. I'm sitting here watching the football on the TV. Nice and chilled, nice and warm. And I'll bring you back when I'm ready for bed. And it's super sketchy around here. There's just loads of people just wandering about and just making loads of noise. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and find a housing estate close by. I did see a new housing estate when I first came in here. So what I'll probably do is drive down and park as far away from a house as I can. I know it's going to be relatively safe down there. And just park up for the night. I've got the windows all blackened out, beds all set up. So it's just a case of finding a spot where I just feel safe and that I'm not going to get disturbed. But it's mad really, because trying to find somewhere just to get your head down that's relatively quiet isn't as easy as what you think it is. But anyway, I'll give it a blast and see what happens. I'll bring you all back when I've found somewhere that I can settle for the night. Right folks, I am as snug as a bug in the rug. I've got the windows blackened out and it's all looking good. Camp mode's on. So the time is 10 to 11. I need to be up for 7. So I'll say good night to you all. Thanks for following me so far, and I'll see you in the morning. Because good morning all. So the alarm's just gone off. I've got a busy day ahead of me. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to chill out for 5 minutes, catch up on the news, and then make my way into the GridServe services, use their washing facilities, have a coffee, or maybe nip across to Mackie D's and get a coffee there, because the Mackie D's is right next to the GridServe. So as you can see, I've only used 8% since I charged my battery last night, so having the dog mode on basically all night has hardly had any effect at all. I was expecting that to be down to about 40%. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen, to be fair, but yeah, I'm really impressed with that. So it's only used 8% battery, and the temperature is, what's that saying? -5 degrees. Oh my god. Right, so I'm all packed up, everything's in where it should be, so I'm ready to go. But just before I go, I just want to do a quick reflection on yesterday. Now, I had this vision in my head of what it would be like, and the vision in my head was I'd have a slow drive up to Norwich to GridServe. They've got all the facilities there. You know, you can get washed and cleaned, you can have coffees, you can have food, and it's such a really nice high-end service station that I thought I'd feel really comfortable there. Anyway, cut a long story short, that as the night started to get on and it wasn't being used so much, and there were security cameras everywhere, just round the corner there was a McDonald's, and there was loads of people cutting through to the only place I could really park, and it was just too noisy. And at the same time, I thought to myself, am I going to get into trouble? Because there was a security guard that walked up and down a few times. Now, whether he saw me camped out there and then tried to move me on, I didn't want that. So I saw this little housing estate just round the corner, and it was newly built, and there's still quite a few people haven't moved in yet. So I sort of put myself in a position in that housing estate next to houses that hadn't been moved in, and literally parked the car up, got the bedding out, and I wasn't disturbed one little bit. And it was really quiet down there as well. And it was off the road, so there was no traffic noise. Now, lying in the back of the car, I was pleasantly surprised at how comfortable it was with that Tesla mat. Now, whether it's because it's got memory foam and air mixed in, I don't know. I've never really tried any of the mattress out apart from one of them blow-you-up jobs that you get when you go on holiday. But that was a really comfortable mattress. I wasn't in any, didn't have any aches or pains or anything. The mattress was really good, and it made sure I did have a decent night's sleep. So all in all, I was pleasantly surprised at how good that experience was. And if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate. Just get yourself a good mattress. And as long as you get a good mattress, you'll be able to stretch out in the back of it, no problem. And when you think of it, I had the camp mode on. It got down to -5 degrees, and it was lovely and toasty in this car. And of course, with it being electric, you're not disturbing anyone. So all in all, I'd really recommend that experience. What I'm going to do now is go and grab a coffee and a bite to eat for breakfast. Then I'm going to drive to Great Yarmouth to get my niece, and then drive back to Essex, just north of London. And when I get back home, I'll bring you back, unless there's anything dramatic happens, which I doubt it will. I'll bring you back and I'll go through how many miles I've did and how many kilowatts I've used. And don't forget, you know, when you're on camp mode, I was expecting to lose a load of energy just using camp mode, but I can't remember what it was now, about 8% I used, and that was keeping the car at 20 degrees Celsius. I mean, I was expecting to use 20 or 30%, and that's in -5 conditions. So in the summer, I would imagine it's a lot less. So well worth it, as I say. Right, I'll bring you back when I get home, unless there's anything else happens. See you soon. So I'm back home at long last, and I've managed to get the figures worked out. So all in all, I did 252 miles there and back. I used 68 kilowatts of power, which wasn't bad considering I was in camp mode during the night as well. The total cost of that was £15.97. £3.70 that was due to home charge. Easy for me to say. £3.70 of that was down to home charge, and it's 7p per kilowatt hour, and £12.27 when I did the top up, because I was worried about how much power I would use when I was in camp mode as well, just to be on the safe side. I did arrive back with 20% in the battery still, so overall that was a cheap trip, and it was a really enjoyable thing to do, to camp out properly in the Tesla. Now, the only thing I would suggest, if you are considering camping out in your Tesla, just invest in a good quality mattress. There's loads of them on the market. I can't compare the Tesla one to any other one, but I can say that I did get a good night's sleep on that mattress without any aches or pains. Right, so that's it done, folks. Really enjoyed that journey. Please don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, please press that subscribe button. It costs you nothing to do it, and it does help me grow the channel and provide further content. So, without further ado, I'll say a bon voyage, and I'll catch you all on the next video.